So I'm going to talk about political economy and ideology. So political economy in media refers to an approach to studying media whose focus is attenuated towards the ways in which media is produced, distributed, and consumed, rather than on analysing the interpretations of the signs and symbols found within texts. Ideology in terms of media is a system of meaning that helps define and explain the world and that makes valued judgments about the world. So who funded this show? The production companies involved with this show are Amazon Studios, Dorothy Parker, Drankier Productions and Picro. The estimated cost for season 4 was $2 million per episode. With an 8-episode season, it costs around $16 million for season 4. With each episode being an average of 57.5 minutes, each televised minute cost $34,782.61. So what is the ideology behind the show? The show is based in the 1950s, so it has 1950s values and stereotypes. The women are expected to stay home and be mothers and homemakers while the men go out to work. And this is a very strong stereotype that we see from the very first episode. This show is all about breaking the stereotypes, and Midge can be seen breaking the stereotype by going out and doing her first stand-up show and showing that women can be funny too and can do stand-up. The show focuses heavily on feminism, with many of the female characters leaning on each other for support. The show was first aired in 2017 when feminism and the Me Too movement were big talking points. Now I'm going to talk about production values. First off, the lighting. The lighting in the show is very important. When the show took place in Paris in season 2, there were exterior lights that gave off a warmth that didn't exist in the 50s and 60s. Since these lights were permanent fixtures and they were unable to move or change them, the cinematographer David Mullen said that he embraced the warmth in the lights and made the New York winter scenes with a cooler colour palette to create contrast between the two places. The background actors. So the background actors in this show are essential to create the atmosphere. The directors and producers wanted the background actors to do such specific things that they hired professional dancers for the role, and each scene was choreographed down to the smallest movement. So they brought in professional choreographers to choreograph each scene. On to some of the locations in the show. The Gaslight Cafe is based on a real place in Greenwich Village, which Jimi Hendrix and Bob Dylan were some of the famous people that performed there. Midge's apartment is real and it's in the Strathmore in Morningside Heights. And the Irish pub that they go to, called the Dublin House, is in the Upper West Side. The pub was actually kept afloat after its appearance in the show, with people coming from all over to visit. Next, I'll talk about the Wonder Wheel scene. So this scene was in the season 4 premiere. It was 3 minutes and 40 seconds long, and it took 2 days to shoot and was very, very complicated. So as you can see the pictures on the right, they had one wheel car, and each group of cast members, there's 5 groups, took turns to be in the car while the other cast members stood off screen and shouted their lines. With the scene being almost 4 minutes long, you can see why it took 2 days to shoot. So Midge's signature colour is pink, and this is because the costume designer Donna thought that it represented her positivity and the rose-coloured glasses that Midge looks at life through. She also has a signature stand-up look. She can be seen wearing a dark coloured dress and a red lipstick. This is to show her as a strong female growing into a strong comedian as the show progresses. There are a lot of lines to remember in this show. The scripts are usually around 70 to 85 pages long. Usually with scripts they're about 60 pages long, which equals 60 minutes. This leads to the actors having to talk extremely quick, which you can see very easily in the show. And it also leads to a lot of the scenes being one take, which we can see in the next slide.
Uno, dos, tres.